Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to my man, the one and only Mr. Eddie Pinero. What's up, Eddie? How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm good, brother. I'm good. Thank you for having me. What an amazing community.
Thanks, man. Yeah, they're a little wild. They get a little rowdy
A
here
little
at
crazy sometimes.
5:30 a.m. Dude,
That's good.
Eddie, man, I appreciate you joining us. I know you're coming in from sunny Florida right now. It's 5:30 in the morning. We talked about that before the show. We're like, you were like, is this really at 5:30 a.m.?
I
Like, is this
love it.
supposed to be
I love it.
p.m.?
Woo! Yeah, you got the entire market share. 5:30 in the morning, man. That's great.
I've got it cornered, right? I've got it cornered. Hey, man, today
Yeah.
is Valentine's Day. We're going to get into your story here in just a little bit, but today is Valentine's Day. So I want to say happy Valentine's Day to everybody that's watching live and everyone that'll watch later, and happy Valentine's Day to you as well. But let's just start this conversation off a little bit different. What does a holiday like Valentine's Day, what does that spark in you? Like, what does a day like today mean to you?
I think there's a couple different ways that I approach it. I mean, one is definitely the manufactured, more consumer side of things, and then the other is the interesting part, the more important part that makes you pause and kind of reflect. On those that you love and you get to share your experiences with and grow with, and it's cool. For me, I sent a letter to my sister, my mom, and my grandmother, and they're all doing fine and dandy, and so I just feel blessed. But no, it's a time to think about what's important in life, and I think in a nutshell, that's what days like that are.
That's
Time
what
to
it's
stop
supposed to
and
be about,
look
right?
at. Yeah,
That's
man. Yeah.
awesome, man. Your sister, your mom, and your grandmother. That is so
The
stinking.
trifecta, the sweetest girls in the world.
That's awesome, man. I love it. I love it. Valentine's Day, it's a little bit crazy. We actually celebrated Valentine's Day yesterday in my house because I am headed off. As soon as I get done with you, I've got another training, and then I'm on a plane, and then I'm off to Vegas for the NADA conference. So we celebrated
Oh, nice.
yesterday. We had had the steak and the gifts and the chocolate and
Oh, of
all of that
course,
stuff,
of
but
course.
ultimately just spent some time with my wife, which was incredible. Hey, man, there's a guy named Chad Varner. I don't know if you heard in the intro, but he sent me a message saying that you absolutely saved his life.
That's
Saved his
amazing.
life. And I know a little bit
That's
about Chad.
amazing.
He battled addiction for a really long time. He's been sober for a while now. I think 6 years now. He's been sober, and he's just been battling. Can you give Chad a quick little shout out this morning?
Chad, appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, and happy that my words have had some impact. It's funny how I always say this, just it can be a sentence. Like the slightest change in perspective helps you think about things a little bit differently. And if I could have been that for you or helped you do that, it means the world to me. So I'm grateful.
Dude, that's one of the things that you are clearly gifted at. You have this powerful ability to take a very short sentence, to use very specific and select words to alter and shift people's trajectories in life. Like, you have that gift. When did you learn or realize that you had that?
I think just through the process of doing it. You know what I mean? It's like it was a culmination of a lot of things. I was a political science major in college, so I wrote a lot of poli sci papers that are kind of dry, and then went into insurance and then quit and then did songwriting, and which songwriting is telling a story in, 3 minutes. You
Sure.
gotta start and end. So I think just throughout doing all those things, and you take a little piece through every chapter, and that's kind of how I learned to express myself.
That's incredible, man. This
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
this week, and yeah, I could totally see that. Like songwriting, you're trying to
It
make
helps you
things big.
realize, right? Like I got my phone playing our conversation too. People are emotional, they're not rational. And that's the most important thing. And whether it's marketing or persuading or even just trying to connect, it's like, you're not going to explain to someone why they should change or how to feel a certain way. You got to make them feel it. Like they have the tools. It's just kind of mobilizing them, and that's all through tonality and storytelling,
Hmm.
not being intricate with every little detail along the way. And that's kind of what I learned, just sharing my stories.
That's awesome, man. I love that. Well, you do an incredible job at it, and I've heard your voice. It's a really it's a unique situation for me right now because I've heard your voice for years. Like, you're in my ear
That's pretty
through all
cool,
these
man.
different motivational videos and all these different compilations and so on and so forth. So I appreciate the work, the energy, the effort that you've put in, and now being able to hear you and interview, it's just an absolute honor, man. I totally appreciate it. This
Appreciate it.
week on the show, we've been talking about the power of love, how it's
Mm,
got this, like, it's such a powerful force, the most powerful force in the universe, right? Like, on Monday we talked about how it has the power to drive people crazy, right? Like, people will just get crazy obsessed, and we can do that in a good way or a bad way, right?
right.
And on Tuesday, we talked about how it has the power to, like, literally overcome death, right? And we shared some stories of people who just loved others so profoundly that they were able to bring them back to life in incredible ways, right? And so just been talking about this power of love and the passion. Why do you think love and passion hold so much power?
Because it brings out the best things. Like I always say, like, those things we feel when we're kids, they're the most raw, they're the most powerful, they're simple. There's no externalities. There's no like wondering what people want us to do or what we're supposed to do. You just kind of feel. You go with what is, with what you believe in. And as we progress through life, we sort of lose that.
Mm,
There are certain ways we need to conform, and you could argue that we lose the things that are most important to us. And I think love, passion, the things that really drive us, bring us back to that. What's real, the most important things in life. um, yeah, I mean, that's why they're the center of our universe.
right. I love that, man. We lose the things that are most important to us. And it's so true, man. Just as a kid, it's just fearless, right? It's like, okay, I want to do that. I like that. That makes me feel good. So I go after it, right?
Simplicity, man. Yeah, it feels good. Do it. Right.
That's right. Simplicity indeed. All right, awesome. Well, I want to back up a little bit, okay? We kind of jumped ahead, but I could probably talk to you for the next 14 years. So let's back up just a little bit. This is a morning show. It is 5:30 a.m. And
Mm.
most of the people on here, we talk about the power of a morning routine, how important it is to have your structure, your resets, so on and so forth. And every successful person that I've talked to, they tend to have some type of consistent routine that they do, no matter where they are in the world, no matter they're traveling, so on and so forth. So what does it look like for you? What happens when Eddie Pinero first wakes up in the morning? How do you tackle your day?
Yeah, so I wake up, and the next hour is, I call it like a little hinge. Like, it's a small amount of time with a tremendous impact on the rest of my day. Right, noticeably different outcomes throughout the day if I don't, you know, do my routine. So basically, I get up and I just take 10 or 15 minutes to kind of meditate, use the Calm app, and just stop and think about what's important.
Hmm.
And then exercising. So there's been a shift there for me. It used to be run, 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 but having some knee and physical issues. So doing yoga and other things in the morning that sort of get that blood flowing. And then it's literally a matter of just mapping out the three big things I want to accomplish that day. So, when it's an hour later, hour after I got up, you have this sort of, you're clear, you're concise in what you want, and there's no clutter. And it's just a feeling of, it's liberating, as everyone here knows, right? It's a freeing feeling.
Sure.
One, having clarity, and two, being ready to rock and roll.
I love that. I love that. Let's talk real quick about the three big things. You said three big things that you want to get accomplished.
Yeah,
So is that like a daily, like, these are the three things I need to tackle today before I go to bed?
exactly. Because there's a lot of minutia. I think particularly with me, the struggle is social media, right? Our
Yeah,
businesses rely on posting. And so there's so many rabbit holes to kind of fall down,
no doubt.
that you want to make sure you're not losing sight of the priorities.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
So it'll
it's
be,
it's very. I mean, those things are designed to distract you, right?
oh, they
Social
are.
media is designed. So I'll do it all the time. I'm like, I go in to make a post, and then next thing I know, I'm reading this, and then I'm responding to this, and it's just such a loss of time. I love that. Look, man, you make the most epic motivational videos like ever. You have tons of them.
Appreciate
They're
it, man.
epic. They're powerful. They're mind shifting. They're inspiring. Like, you just do an incredible job with these videos. What does that process look like for you? Like, how does it go from Eddie's mind into the world?
Well, the reason I love it and I'm so crazy about it is because it's stuff that I've lived, you know. So whether it's a high or a low or a win or a loss, you know, I'm noting those. I'm cognizant of those things throughout the day, the week, and the month, and I'm writing them down. And I feel like, look, if I got my teeth kicked in here but learned X, Y, and Z, someone else can appreciate that. Someone else will be going through the same thing. So it's taking a message, the point you want to get across, and then you take it to, you know, the production, the music, the visuals, the things that you're not preaching, you're not telling, you're explaining, right? You're storytelling, because as entrepreneurs, you know, there's variations, but there are very common experiences we all deal with.
Sure.
And sometimes it's nice to have someone just be like, this is what I encountered, this was the solution, and I'm way better off now.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the to answer your question, real life experiences that you take them and you turn them into some type of 3 or 4 minute story.
Yeah. Love it, man. So observation, right? Observe. What did I learn? What was good? What was bad? Take that. I feel passionate about it, right? Like everything you've been talking about this morning, it kind of goes back to your, you know, just keeping everything fairly simple, right?
Dude, simplicity makes the world go round. Yeah, I've learned that the hard way, right? Over and over and over again. It's like simplicity, knowing who you are, knowing what you want to say, knowing what works. Those are things that are not complex, but we tend to make them complex. So yeah. It's, to your point, being observant and, you know, through life experiences, through, you know, books that I think help your awareness, help you observe so that you can then write better stories and reach people in a better way. Yeah. But all those things sort of come together. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. What about that person that says, I don't know who I am. I just can't figure out like exactly who I am.
No
like,
one.
I like this, but maybe I'm this. Like, I don't know. What would you say to somebody in that situation?
I would say that's a blessing. My favorite quote is, "Not all who wander are lost." And I learned most about myself when I had no clue, when I left a corporate job that was very comfortable and just went out and experimented and tried things and saw what I loved, what I didn't like. And you learn. Like, the only way to figure out who you are is to throw things against the wall and see what sticks. And the caveat is, a lot of people feel too much pressure, feel like they can't. They don't have the freedom and flexibility to do that because there's a stigma. Right. I mean, I always joke around. I would walk into a bar with my friends. One of them works for a senator. One of them's a Goldman. And I'm this dude. I'm like, I got a good idea for a YouTube channel. Like, that's not cool, you know, but it's in that sort of chaos that you find yourself. And ultimately, I mean, I'm so grateful for that time.
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to dive in. Right. So part of the process, enjoy it, love it. Don't be scared of it. You know,
yeah, that's beautiful, man. Not all who wander are lost. That's powerful. That's powerful, and that's real life stuff. I like how you put it that way, and just kind of, because I get that a lot. You know, I get people that reach out from the group. They're like, I just can't find my purpose. I don't really know, you know, why I'm here. But then when you dig in, it seems as though they're just following a mold, right? They're just showing up, going to work, sitting in the box, sitting in the cubicle, not taking risks, not taking chances. And ultimately, you're not going to find yourself in that box, right? Now, you might be a person who wants to be in that box and put yourself in there, and that's a different thing, I think. But you're definitely not going to find yourself while you're in that box. So let's go back to the beginning. You start doing these videos. They're obviously awesome. But there had to be a time. See, we all see Eddie Pinero now, right? We see the millions of views and you post a video, it blows up, it's freaking awesome, right? That's what we see. But there had to be these early days where you were posting a video and it was like, 4 people.
Oh, man, yeah.
12, right? Let's talk about those early days. So when nobody was watching, when you had this passion, you knew this was like something you wanted to do. You wanted to share these stories with the world. You're posting them, you're doing the production, you're putting in all the work, and nobody's watching. How do you keep pushing through that?
That is, I think when I learned that every successful endeavor, any entrepreneur, anyone of significance paid that price, it comforted me because it's terrifying. I mean, it's terrifying to be in a place where you're exhausting energy. You're giving everything to something and you're not getting that validation. That's, oh God, it's just not a good feeling. But when you realize it's like a gumball machine, you got to put the quarter in to get the thing out. That's the quarter. And so I actually wrote about that in a video called Dancing with No Music, where it's like the people that get through that point, the people that do things of value, they hear a song before anyone else hears it. You see a finish line before it's there, and it's ultimately self-belief. It's trusting in yourself. So yeah, for me, to answer your question specifically, it was, there were times writing in a small apartment in Boston, and I'm pouring my heart out into this video, this production, and I think it's going to change the world. And I put it out, and 10 people are like, and and it's disheartening. But you got to pick up the pieces and move to the next one. It's as simple as that,
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I like how you touched on pulling from the other successful people out there, right? Like when you read those stories, a lot of people think I'm just like obsessed with other people, but it's not that I'm obsessed with other people. I like the stories. I like to apply them in my life. So when you see everyone else is going through it, it's like, okay, I can keep showing up. Like you said, I like how you simplified it. You got to put a quarter in to get the gumball out. Right.
Right.
This is the putting the quarter in. This is the just keep showing up. Right.
Exactly. One of the most amazing things is 1.5 speed on Audible, right? You run through all these books, all these biographies, and you see, real life. Everyone deals with these trials and tribulations.
Right.
The difference is some people say, it's not worth the cost, and some people keep moving forward.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's beautiful, man. Let me ask you this. You make tons of videos. You motivate and you inspire all of us all around the world. What's Eddie's go-to when you're maybe dragging a little bit? Maybe you need a little motivation. Maybe you need a little inspiration. What's your go-to?
So many things. Music, a lot. Poetry. Being outside, being by the beach, just thinking, feeling. It's usually when I'm stuck or I'm in a place of stagnation, feel like I'm not effective creatively. It just means I need to step out and pull myself above the minutia in the weeds, right? The comments on social media and the posting and this and that, and it's just none of that matters. But you need to consistently remind yourself none of that matters, right? And so that's why just
For sure.
some emotive escape is huge.
And is there anybody? I love that, just creating the space to really, which is good, that woosah. But is there anybody that you listen to or that inspires you, or was there did you have a mentor, or is there anybody that kind of inspired you to do what you do now?
Yeah, I have some friends that I talk to pretty frequently. As far as like individual people, this is interesting. Tim Grover's book, Relentless.
Yep.
That book, absolute. And I read multiple books a week. That book to me, it's like injecting adrenaline into your veins.
Yeah,
so like,
no doubt.
If I can consume 10 or 15 minutes of that every day, that in itself is fantastic. But just something that, reminds you of what it takes.
Right.
And so the way Tim talks about Michael's mentality and Kobe's mentality and Dwayne Wade's mentality, and how they just didn't think like normal people.
Right.
It just jacks me up. It's a great book. Yeah.
I'm with you, man. And Tim Grover, I met him at the first 10X conference, and he just came out of the stage and lit it up, bro.
He's incredible. He's incredible.
Man. Comes out like a military soldier. He just like commands and demands instant attention and respect, and just delivers straight fire, like pow. He's one of those guys. So I could see how Tim Grover would move you. That's awesome, man. Listen. You say anything is possible in life if you believe in yourself and you work towards your dreams. Anything. You really believe that, Eddie?
I do believe that. I do believe that because big things are just little things. You know what I mean? And I feel like when I think of every time that there was I felt intimidated or overwhelmed, it was simply because I was looking at the big picture and not the step right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm sure, with your business, you've done incredibly well. You didn't start here. It was like the manifestation of tiny little movements, a sequence of little things. Anyone can take one step. And so that's why I approach it like that. Anyone can do anything because anyone can take one step, and that's what it's all about. It's about momentum and just seeing what's right in front of you. And when you remember that, nothing's as scary as we make it out to be. Mm-hmm. Especially if you have the tenacity and the dedication and the commitment and the mindset, just don't stop. Yeah. All you have to do is not stop. It's not difficult. Right? When you think
I don't know. I mean, I guess it is a little bit difficult though, right? Or else everybody would be doing it, right? But and just one little step at a time, and don't stop, right?
Right. And I'm not trivializing it. I'm not saying it's not challenging. I'm saying moving one step at a time is very doable.
It is very doable.
And so when you break it down,
people struggle with it.
Because of that lack of validation, because it's difficult to put energy into something and not see a reward.
Yeah.
Right. We're cause and effect minded. And so you have to be willing to give without getting.
Yeah. For
a long time. It's just challenging.
Yeah.
But again, when you sort of switch the mindset to, look, this is the cost of admission, it makes it easier you realize you're building something.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I love that. You got to be willing to give without getting. And I think that that's true in all the different aspects, right? Like with our careers, with our health, with fitness, right? Like it's not always going to be instant results,
right?
Instant validation. Oh, I went to the gym today. I lost 10 pounds. Nobody said nobody never.
Right? I know. It'd be nice, right?
It would be nice. Now you've been able to travel the world, and we're basically out of time right here. But I'm going to ask you a couple questions anyway, and go a little bit over. I try to be mindful of everyone's morning routines because got to be respectful. But not every day you got Eddie Pinero on your show. So you've traveled around, man. You've traveled the world. You've spoke with a lot of people. You've coached and trained and worked with people on mindset and you've just done some powerful things. So what is maybe one thing that you've learned overall about humans in general? What was maybe one thing that you've learned on the good side and the bad side? What's holding them back, and what can they do to really propel themselves forward?
A big thing for me that I notice is, we all, our intentions are good, right? So when we look at someone who we may disagree with or fundamentally don't understand, a lot of times we tend to equate their outcome with something negative, or their motives with something negative. But everyone wants the same thing, right? And so when you look at it from that perspective, from sort of a team mentality, you understand ideologically why they're coming from where they're coming from, why they believe what they believe. It makes it easier to interact and work together and network and grow together. I mean, part of my experience over the past, 5, 6, 7 years has been growing a network of people that support me and have my back. And, it's reciprocated, and we all don't see the same way, and we're very different. But it's understanding that everyone wants the same things. We have the same needs, and people are inherently good. Mm-hmm. And so it's understanding that and supporting each other.
Yeah, I like that. People's intentions are good, though they may seem in disagreement, or it may be abrasive at the moment, or whatever. Ultimately, the intentions behind it are good. I think you're 100% spot on, about that. As I've been able to experience more of the world and touch more people, there's bad people out there. Don't get me wrong, sure, but that's not the standard stream, right? It's not the standard stream.
Or it's understanding why, right? We might seem as bad, but maybe it's there's rationale. Sure. They're not bad. It's an approach to an end result that we all want.
Yeah, definitely, man. All right, definitely. Here's what I want to do, and I'm excited about this part. There's something I want to do real quick.
Cool.
And then we'll wrap this thing up. Can I put you on a mountain real quick? I'm going to put Eddie Pinero up on a mountain, right? So you're up on a mountain, and all of civilization, literally everybody, is at the base of the mountain, and they're cheering like Eddie, 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 Eddie. Everybody's like getting jacked up, dude. There's like little waving man, and people are dancing, and there's music, right? It's just like jacked up moment, and they give you the mic, and you've got 2 minutes. Literally 2 minutes to drop some powerful words of wisdom on them. Something they can apply in their life today, this week, this month, this year. What are you going to tell them?
Woo! I would tell them probably the most important thing is understanding that no one's ever going to walk up to you on the street and put a hand on your shoulder and say, you have a great future. I can see it, son. Keep moving. Or madam, keep going. Or you're going to be in shape someday. I can tell how wealthy you're going to be, right? Those things don't exist until you believe it. So I would remind people that, similar to the previous conversation we were having, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. You have to be the one that initiates it. No one's going to tell you it's real. No one's going to push you forward. It's got to start internally and be projected out. So have the courage to believe in yourself. Have the courage to try. Have the courage to, just step out of what's comfortable and start building that. And it's almost like you will be convincing yourself that you're capable of some amazing things.
I love it. You have to be the one that initiates it. Quit waiting for somebody else to get you in your spot and in your slot, right? You got to initiate that yourself. You got to show up. You got to keep showing up. Don't stop. Don't quit. And you can achieve your dreams. Eddie, man, I personally just have to thank you for everything, man, for all the hard work, all the videos. They really are impactful. I have a file of little Jiminy Crickets in my head, and in certain situations that require different responses, I recall different people. So Eric Thomas might pop into my brain, or Les Brown, or a Jim Rohn, or any of these guys might pop into my head, and you're one of them, man. Your voice is one of my Jiminy Crickets, and you've helped me get to where I am today. And so I truly, truly appreciate the hard work and all of that. If somebody wants to be they want to connect with you, like I've had the honor of doing, and Chad Varner's had the honor of doing, where should they go? What's the best way to follow you, start watching your videos, start diving in, and get to know you better?
Of course. Your World Within on YouTube is the biggest platform where I'm consistently putting out videos and storytelling and throwing my stuff out there.
Beautiful. Your World Within. So yourworldwithin.com, or Your World Within on YouTube.
Yeah, or yourworldwithin.com, but YouTube, it's easier, just go straight to YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube's your house. That's where you live. Well, my man, Eddie, dude, you're clearly, you're this unique, amazing child of God doing incredible things out there in the world. And I just want you to know that these decisions that you're making to show up and to be relentless and to pursue and to pour into people, I know you already know this, but it's making a massive impact, dude. It's making an impact on your friends, your family members, your coworkers. Today, you've made an impact on us on hashtag Rise and Grind, and I absolutely stinking love you for it, man. I really, really do.
Glenn, I appreciate it. It's been an honor, dude.
Awesome. Hang tight just a second here in the green room. I'm going to say goodbye to everybody else, and I'll be right back if you don't mind.
Sounds good. Take care.
And that, my friends, is our friend, Mr. Eddie Pinero. My camera is completely froze. We'll have to go to this picture of Brandon over there. There we go. Oh, my camera froze up again. This Wirecast software I'm having a lot of trouble with. Hey, that's my man, Eddie Pinero. I need you to do me a huge favor. You are going to be so blessed and so transformed if you follow this guy. I'm telling you, his stuff is absolutely phenomenal. So do me a favor, make sure you go to Your World Within, make sure you subscribe to his YouTube page so you can get his videos on there. And then let's do what we do here on hashtag Rise and Grind, which is where we pour into the guests that come on to our show. We make sure to share out the guests that come on to our show, and we make sure that they feel loved and they know that we really appreciated their time at 5:30 a.m. With that said, I need you to go out there and have an amazing, over-the-top, incredible, powerful weekend. I'm going to go hop on a plane and head out to Las Vegas, Nevada. So I'll see you Monday morning at 2:30 a.m. Vegas time on hashtag Rise and Grind. Have an incredible day, my friends.